Okay, so over here we have the same audio in Premiere, and here is the audio, and we are gonna drag it over here to be able to start the sequence. So I am gonna go ahead and start doing that. Now here in Premiere you have the audio, which I'm gonna play before I change anything.
Oh my gosh, is that me?
Okay, so there's the audio. Okay, so we have our time sequence dragged on this side, and as you see, we have this in minutes, but we do also have it as 60 frames per second because it goes 60 seconds and then it hits 1 minute. And that's not what we want because we're doing animations at 24 frames per second. So the first thing that we want to do is change it, and we go to sequence settings, which you're probably not seeing that because I'm not showing that, but in the Adobe Premiere menu you do sequence and then sequence settings, and then it's gonna open up a menu, and then under general and then time base you do 24 frames per second. If you didn't see that, I apologize. Just follow those instructions. It's gonna change it to 24 frames per second, and then it'll change it. So it'll have 24 frames and then it'll hit a second. So that's what we want. But we don't want it to hit a second. We want it to continue counting the frames so that we can take our X sheet and then be able to put the vowel or letter that it is saying in our audio. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it. We're going to right click on the time and we're going to change it to frames. So now it's under frames. So it's 1, 2, 3. You can see the frames right here, and you can also see the frames on top. So you can also make this super high, this, by dragging this so you can see the wavelength. And the reason why you would want to do that is so you can see when it hits the vowel or the letter. So there she's saying, I don't know if you can hear it very well, because I have the volume down so you can hear me. But she says, O, that's the letter O, at frame 7. And your cartoon is gonna wanna start opening the mouth at probably frame 6. There is the letter G, I can hear it. There's a letter G at frame 17. So that's a long. Oh my god. And you can see on the wavelength that it's a god. Oh my god. So there's a short oh oh, and you can see the wavelength. My there's a short G. There's a D on frame 24, so that would be a second. Duh. This would probably be her closing the mouth. This is the I for is. S, s, s. We can already hear the S. S. I think that's the S. Let's see. No, this is the I. In the X sheet, I would put it as a E for the E E E. And the mouth that she would do, it's like a very wide mouth. It's dot dot dot. So there's that. There's this wavelength is that at frame 47 to 4960. Um, that completely silent. There's M. Me. Me. Very high pitch. High pitch me. Me in question mark. And if you need to like hear what kind of attitude she has, you can just go very fast. But there's the me word, and you can see the wavelength me. So that me, and the wavelength shows the word me from here to here. And so it would be me starting at 59 ends at 66. And so you take the X sheet and you start putting the letters. You can clearly see the wavelength. I think it's definitely way better than Procreate. I think I would use the iPad if I don't have Premiere. It's a different option. I definitely don't know how to use it as good as Premiere. I usually use Premiere. Shows me the frames. in Procreate, if I don't know exactly if I'm doing something wrong, I don't think you can have every single number in frames. I think you just have to count it, and you have to just count it and do like 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, and then just go from there and count how many. It does do 24 frames per second, but it won't do 48, 40, 60, 66. So you do have to count the frames in Procreate Dream. So, but it's another option. There's other software out there that you can do. You can import sound, um, and it'll give you frames. I haven't been able to find other, but I know there's definitely other software. Um, I tried to find other software in the iPad, but I couldn't find. If you know of any other, put it in the comments so other people know of it. Um, I just usually use Premiere for this. So, yes, and definitely love the wavelength here to know the letter and vowel and sound. So again, you can just even make it higher. I mean, I don't know why you would want it higher. That's already good enough. But if you want it higher, I think higher is more confusing. I think that's good enough. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna do the X sheet and then start the animation, and then I'll see you guys, show you a snip of the X sheet, and start the animation with you guys. So see you there. Okay, so this is my X sheet, and this is sponsored by my own website, Lulu Fashion Designs, where you can get your custom t-shirts and sweatshirts. This is a catalog, and this actually saves, or some profit goes to saving kittens and local rescues and shelters. So I invite you to go to lulufashiondesigns.com, where you can see some of the kittens that are available for adoption in Orange County, California. But definitely get your custom sweatshirt, and yeah. But let's continue with the lesson. Um, so pretty much just make sure that the animation toggle button is turned on under settings, canvas, assist. Um, we're gonna start by adding my kitten for the animation. So that's what I just did. I have already pre-created the kitten. All I have to do is add his legs. So that's pretty much what I just did here. And um, other than that, I think I'm just gonna add like an accessory here so that you guys heard the dialogue. It's like, hey, this is me. So I'm gonna make sure it's a girl kitten, and she looks like a pretty girl kitten that is like, hey, is that me? So I'm just gonna make some changes to this kitten. Add a flower here. Um, Not that many changes. I did notice that if you have animation assist, you can still add layers into it. You do just have to merge them after. So you can add layers to make accessories and stuff like that. You just have to merge them after to make sure that the animation stays as an animation. So just keep that in mind. When you add layers, you just make sure you merge them. If you know of a different way, definitely let me know. But as far as layers goes, they just do have to keep be kept merged, because pretty much like each frame is certainly every just a different layer. Okay, so here I am just continuing with the animation. Now here is the thing. Uh, I cannot add the audio into this software. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create like and then this is the first thing that you do is for your audio, you just sort of like storyboard what the attitude would be for your audio. Is you would sort of like, okay, this is my audio. My audio is, oh my gosh, is that me? So like what would be the attitude or the storyline that this kitten is doing for that audio to fit in the story? And that's exactly what I'm doing is I'm creating the storyline slash what would be the attitude that this kitten or story that that's happening here. So this is sort of like my storyboard, even though I am going to kind of like make it a little bit longer than a storyboard, and I will tell you later why. Um, but the reason why is because, or I guess I'm gonna tell you now. The reason why is because I cannot add my audio right now in the software because I'm using Procreate and not Procreate Dream. And the reason why is because I like Procreate better for animating instead of Procreate Dream. I'm just more comfortable with it than Procreate Dream. Um, Maybe later, much later, when I'm more comfortable with Procreate Dream, maybe I'll decide to use Procreate Dream. For now, I'll just continue using Procreate. Um, but yeah, I'm still I'm still gonna use Procreate, and since I cannot add the audio, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of imagine what the attitude of this kitten is if she were to say that. And so I'm gonna go ahead and animate the whole thing. And then after that, then I'm gonna go ahead and time it accordingly. And it probably won't be perfect, to be honest with you. Um, this is my lesson, obviously, is like really short. It's like, what, 20 minutes or so. Um, but if I did take the time, like if you were to animate something that was like you're really, really taking the time, it'd be a process that you probably would import the animation and then take it back and then fix it and then import it. Make sure that the lip sync is actually matching. And if it's not, take it back. And then it's a process of um what is it called? Like uh air, well, you understand like what I mean. It's um like if it's correct, then yeah, great. If it's not, then you just go back and fix it. Um Me doing this is gonna be like 90% good. And then I just go back into Premiere and just kind of like fix how slow it is. And then, but it will be me doing this like with the X sheet. What I did uh was I did with the process that I showed you. Like I took it the X sheet and took the letters down, put them down, it would be like 90% right. The attitude, all of that. Once I time it, all of that would be like 95% correct. So all I have to do is like time it, and you will see this. Um, so right now I'm still just drawing the attitude, and whether you first time it, which is I decided to time it at the end. But I usually just time it in the beginning. So I put the numbers down first, then I add the attitude. So just so you know, I'm doing it backwards. First you put the numbers, and then um you put the attitude. Then last, very it's always very last thing you do is you put the mouth. Always is you put the mouth. Um because you first want to have the attitude down, like the movement of the body. That's sort of like a rule. You always want to have the movement of the body first, and that's definitely something I did right here. Is I did get the movement of the body right, and you'll see at the end of my animation how good the movement of my body matches my animation. So this is it looks like I'm done here. Um it I'm gonna work on the tail, but it looks like my attitude is done. So it's oh my gosh, is that me? And then she points at the mirror. And then I had a little movement on the head, like right there. That really makes it really matches the audio. And you'll see at the end how good it matches the audio. So as far as the mouths go, obviously lip sync is all about the mouths. I think me trying to match it, um maybe like the lip sync could have been a little bit better on my part, but again, if you had the software where you can import the audio, you could match the mouth better than I did because I didn't have the chance to import the audio and the animation at the same time. So it would have been nice to import the audio. Like I would have probably used an Procreate Dream if I wanted to do that, but I chose to do just Procreate, right? So if I really, really, really wanted to match the audio with my mouth and do really, really good lip sync, I would do Procreate Dream. So my mouths are probably not syncing exactly good, but the attitude is, and the reason why is because I used X sheet. I made sure everything was on point, and even there is a time here where I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna start moving the holds. I switched them. I took them off, the holds, and I'm gonna start duplicating them so that I can do the mounts. Because I realized that the mounts, I would need more space for some mounts. And then I start from 62 to try to get all the numbers down. And then right here, I'm looking at the X sheet, okay? So right here, I'm not just blindly putting numbers in. I'm actually looking at the X sheet and putting the numbers and matching the mounts. And then the mounts that I'm putting in, I'm actually getting them from the X sheet. So, just so you know. The holds, I realized that because I don't have that many drawings, one drawing equals four holds. Does that make sense? So because I have about 17 drawings, 17 times 4 equals about 62, which is how many drawings I have on the X sheet. If I did the math correctly, I'm not good at math. So that's how many drawings I would hold it for. So 4. So if I if I did like one drawing held for 4 for a specific reason is because it's equals 4 unless I actually repeated it with a different mouth, then I hold it for 2. So hopefully that makes sense. If there's a different mouth, I hold it for 2. If it's the same mouth, I hold it for 4. So that's my logic behind it. So there it goes. And so that's how I timed it. Then I start holding it. There's times where I hold and erase the duplicates. If I don't change the mouth, then I don't need to the duplicate that I did because I thought I would have a different mouth. But if I didn't do a different mouth in the duplicate, then I don't need the duplicate. Again, hopefully that makes sense. The duplicate was only so that I could make a different mouth. If I didn't do a different mouth, then I don't need the duplicate. You hold, if you are wondering how I do all this, you hold on the frame and you either click on hold for a specific time or you click on duplicate. That's how I'm doing it. So the duration. So that's how I'm doing that right there. And then you hold it for a specific time. And yeah, at the end, I'm gonna go ahead and just play it. Right now, it's obviously playing like a 200 speed, so I can, not bore you and, um, show you the lesson a little quicker. Um, but at the end, I'm gonna play it just as it is, like not at 200 speed. So I'll tell you exactly when that is. And I'm not too worried about the tail because the tail is just like an extra, so the tail is probably gonna move slower since I actually did it um at like regular speed. So the tail right now is moving like regular speed, but it's actually because it's speed up. So the tail in real time is gonna move slower, but that's okay because tails can move slower. Um, so and I'm gonna do a pretty background. You can toggle background button on the first layer and make a background, and it'll apply on all the layers. So the first layer, toggle the background button at the bottom, and it'll apply it to all the layers. And there it goes. So this is real time. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell button, and I'll see you next time in the next video.